The night was alive with excitement long before the first beat hit. The sun had just set behind Montjuic Hill, but inside the Estadi Olímpic Lluís Companys, time seemed to warp. The collective breath of the 50,000-strong audience was perfectly synchronized, as if the city's pulse had transferred into the stadium, thumping louder and faster. This was more than a concert. It was a pivotal moment. Barcelona had never felt so vibrant. Then, without warning, the stadium was plunged into darkness. A brief hush followed. Suddenly, headlights sliced through the shadows. Hey everyone! Welcome to Celebrity Rap Showroom. If you're into raw, unfiltered celebrity moments and hip-hop drama, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. A sleek black car emerged from beneath the stage, both foreboding and elegant, like a royal coffin. No music played yet, only the sound of the engine and the electric anticipation that buzzed in the air. Kendrick Lamar stepped out, a figure of pain, precision, and prophecy. Clad in black, with fiery eyes, he neither waved nor spoke. The flames surrounding him conveyed the message. Real fire shot into the sky, and fireworks erupted like battle cries. The opening notes of waxied-out murals exploded in the stadium. It was more than a song. It was a powerful sermon delivered in bursts of energy. 20 dancers, sharp and precise, emerged from the flames, moving with the discipline of soldiers and the unpredictability of storm clouds. Kendrick's delivery was not just lyrical, it was architectural, with each line stacking like bricks in a grand cathedral of sound. From the stands, the view was stunning. A black and white world dominated the giant screens, interrupted only by flashes of blood-red light. The fans below, arms raised defiantly, resembled a single, living entity, a unified choir, roaring in unison. Kendrick was their electrifying preacher, their reflection, and their guide. Then silence fell again. The car returned, now transformed. Leaves wrapped around it, as if nature was reclaiming the metal, suggesting that Kendrick's fire had been softened by a forest. This time, SZA sat atop it, draped in flowing fabric that fluttered like wings in the breeze. Her entrance wasn't explosive, it was transcendent. If Kendrick was the storm, she embodied the eerie, beautiful calm that followed, unpredictable and enchanting. Together, they performed 30 for 30. Their connection was authentic, not just for show, it was fundamental, like fire and air, tension and release. He delivered his lines with the weight of sacred scripture, while she shaped hers into melodic arcs that seemed to defy gravity. As Kendrick faded from view, SZA effortlessly took control of the atmosphere, transforming it into a psychedelic daydream. Vibrant colors flooded the screens. Massive insects crawled across surreal landscapes, their movements synchronized with the deep bass. It felt like being pulled into another dimension. When SZA sang "Nobody Gets Me," adorned like a butterfly with delicate wings reflecting the lights, it transcended performance. It became myth-making. She swayed gently, suspended in the moment. The transitions between segments were seamless. The main screen folded and flipped like digital origami, signaling each new chapter of the evening's story. SZA's dancers glided across the stage like otherworldly figures, forming shapes that evolved with the music. A spider's web during Kill Bill, a blossoming flower during Saturn. The visuals were intricate, sometimes subtle, sometimes overwhelming, but always purposeful. One of the most striking moments of the night came unexpectedly with Doves in the Wind. The mood shifted, less frenetic, more somber. Kendrick reappeared, this time without the intensity, entering the scene slowly like a man returning home. The atmosphere thickened. Each word felt suspended in the air. Together, they built tension from the surrounding space and respect from the rhythm. They didn't need to touch. They simply orbited each other, like twin planets. Then came All the Stars. If the earlier performances felt like sermons, this one was an immersive experience of communion. The stadium glowed in shades of violet and gold, wrapping everyone in warmth. The audience transformed from passive observers to active participants. People embraced one another, passionately singing along to the chorus. Strangers felt like family. Kendrick and SZA didn't just share the stage, they shared an undeniable energy. Every voice in the crowd resonated as a collective affirmation. The stage dimmed once again. A sudden change took place. Kendrick returned alone, fully commanding the chaos. The Beat 4, Squabble Up, hit with tremendous impact. It wasn't just a song, it was a call to action. He moved across the stage like a commander on a mission, each lyric hitting like a bullet, every gesture demanding attention. The crowd responded instantly, their voices rising like smoke from a battlefield. There were no live musicians, only pre-recorded tracks, beats, and raw energy. It could have fallen flat, but it didn't. This wasn't solely about the music, it was about eliciting a powerful reaction. Kendrick used sound not just as a tool, but as a weapon to pierce through the numbness of modern life. His voice cut through the mix, even as the bass threatened to overpower it. He mastered the distortion, turning flaws into strengths. SZA's second solo set introduced a lighter vibe. She changed into a dazzling bodysuit that sparkled with every movement. She danced more freely now, relying less on choreography and more on instinct. When she performed Ghost in the Machine, the visuals became hauntingly beautiful. Glitches in reality, shattered mirrors, and floating stars. Her voice soared, fractured, and then reformed in midair. Then came the familiar burst of Kiss Me More. Fireworks exploded in perfect sync with each chorus. Fans screamed as if they had been anticipating this moment for years. Couples leaned into each other, and friends linked arms. This song about desire felt like a triumphant celebration. As the performance reached its climax, the collective energy peaked with humble. Kendrick didn't merely sing it. He turned it into a profound declaration. The audience became a wave of jumping figures, their feet thudding against the ground, voices raw from exhilaration. He glided effortlessly across the stage, maintaining perfect rhythm. It was a masterclass in command. Then came Family Ties. The bass reverberated, threatening to shake the stadium to its foundation. Each lyric exploded like a bomb. When he paused to shout, "Barcelona, I appreciate your love," the crowd's reaction was not just loud, it was explosive. But no one was prepared for Not Like Us. It transcended being just a song. It was a powerful release. Kendrick held the microphone like a weapon, delivering each line with the weight of a final judgment. Each repetition of "They Not Like Us" jolted the audience, awakening a shared consciousness. The crowd responded with a passion reminiscent of those who had finally found the words they had yearned to express for years. The sense of liberation was indescribable. Afterward, a prolonged silence enveloped the arena. The lights dimmed, and the audience stood in eager anticipation, almost reluctant to break the stillness. Then came the encore. Kendrick and SZA returned to center stage, moving slowly. This time, there were no cars or dancers, just the two of them, their eyes focused ahead. Luther began softly, accompanied by a gentle beat and heartfelt vocals. The stadium, which had just been a whirlwind of energy, transformed into a space of reverence. It was a collective moment of vulnerability on a grand scale. Next was Glory. The energy had diminished slightly, the song perhaps not reaching the monumental heights of what had preceded it. Yet, even in this slight dip, there was a sense of authenticity, like a deep breath released after holding it for 2.5 hours. They weren't trying to top the previous moments. They were simply concluding the show. The black car reappeared, now still and almost glowing. Kendrick and SZA entered side by side, their expressions unreadable, but their demeanor confident. As the car descended from the stage, the lights sparkled like stars across the stadium ceiling. It was over, but no one moved. No one clapped immediately. This performance didn't demand applause. It invited reflection. Finally, the lights came back on. Some audience members were in tears. Others laughed, embracing friends who now felt a deeper connection. Most remained still, caught in the aftermath of an experience that felt less like a concert and more like a shared vision. Kendrick Lamar and SZA offered more than just music. They facilitated a transformation. They held up a mirror to Barcelona and invited it to respond with song. And Barcelona did just that. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on this story.